alive. I'm alive. I am also going to put my phone on do not disturb because I don't want to be disturbed when I'm talking to y'all. Oh, wait, I wanted to show you my necklace. How cute is it? I don't think I'm going to be able to wear it during this live stream though. This is a gift from my neighbor Roxana. Um, and I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces of jewelry. Um, okay. Want to make sure that I have everything set up properly. Just a moment, please. Yes. Yes. Okay. Great. Hi. I am the lady Ms. Vagina Jenkins, artist, astrologer, dreamer, Pisces, all of those things. And this is the third part, the final part in a little mini series of videos that I've been doing, um, where I talk about, or have been talking about, my experience being a content creator. Let me pull this light over here. Better. Just checking where the glare is. Got it. Okay. So yeah, in the first video, I talked about my background, but as always in true Pisces Mercury fashion, I remembered that I forgot some things after I published it, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be shared. So I might touch on some of those things today. But yeah, my background and then the astrology that I think makes me a good content creator. And then in the second video, I got really specific about the different platforms that I'm on and how much I make on those different platforms and how I strategize that kind of stuff. Because my idea about being a content creator is, well, it's twofold. I'm very much aware of the fact that being a content creator means that you are helping the apps to keep people on the apps for longer periods of time so that they are exposed to more advertising from the apps. Um, and even as I am participating in that system, I'm very much aware of things that I might say to disrupt that system, if that makes any sense. So yeah. And oh, and then the other thing is that, yeah, even as I'm participating in this system, like everyone who trades some form of labor for currency to survive, that is my idea about this. Is that I am an unemployable Black queer autistic person, and what I have available to me to survive capitalism is these social media apps, and so I name all that to say that there is complication and nuance to it all. So yeah. And then oh, and I'll make sure to link those parts, part one and part two, up here somewhere. And then in this part three, I wanted to answer some questions that had been sent in by folks, and also the chat is open. If you have your own questions about what it takes to be a content creator or how much these platforms pay, what my experience has been on the different platforms. I'm primarily on Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and a bit on TikTok. So those are my areas of expertise. Oh, and I guess Discord, but that feels more social, not necessarily monetized yet. Let me know if the sound is okay. I hear police sirens. Oakland. 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 Yeah, I'm a little worried about the sound because I don't see the light on my mic moving, but I don't want to change to my other mic, which might pick up more ambient noise. Oh, awesome. And you can hear the sirens too. Dang. Oh, Oakland. Yeah, I live in a very heavily policed area, and that is what my day sounds like for the most part. And is it upsetting to my autistic nervous system? You bet it is. You bet it is. Yeah. Mm, I want to put my info in the chat. Oh, thanks for confirming that though, KS. Okay, so mhm, 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 and great. Oh, also, my across the hall apartment building neighbors are doing some kind of something that causes the fire alarm to go off like every 15 minutes or so today. It is just a lot. It is a lot of sensory input today. Anyway, I'm going to be okay. You're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I believe that for us. So anyway, let's get into the Q&A of it all. Um, yeah, I've got some written questions, I've got some video questions, and then yeah, feel free to put any questions that you all have in the chat. I am here for you. And you're here for me. Thank you for being here. Okay. So the first question that I have is and I've kind of arranged these in an order of some sort, but yeah. How important is consistency as a content creator? And I wanted to talk about this first because I feel like it is the most important thing. Um, I think, you know how people worry? Well, I don't know if you know this, but I feel like being in community with different content creators, I feel like they worry a lot about the quality of their content. Is my sound good? You know, does the video quality? Should I buy a fancy camera to have better video quality? Oh, should I do that? Should I do that? And I always think there are so many different ways to approach it, content creation, and that people respond to your authentic voice more than like any sort of polished type content. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is some of the stuff out there that is like amazing to look at. Wisdom K, for example. But we can't all be Wisdom K. And if you don't have that level of artistic quality or production value, whatever those words are, I think the next best thing is being consistent, particularly on YouTube. And I want to hone in on that for a second because on YouTube, I've absolutely noticed that YouTube's algorithm rewards consistency. Um, Typically, and I'll give you an example. Typically, when I want to take a break, go on vacation, I typically take off the 3 weeks of all of the Mercury retrogrades because I already have a debilitated Mercury. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to make that worse. And also, my 10th house is in Virgo. So, my public reputation depends a lot on Mercury. So, I typically take off for the Mercury retrograde. So, what I will do is I will schedule content for each one of those weeks. And by the way, I release content every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. That's 11 a.m. Eastern time. Anyway, so yeah, when I have scheduled content, even if I'm not like regularly interacting with that content and like answering questions in the comments and things like that, that content does better than my regular Wednesday content that I usually put out like a day or two before. Which, by the way, oh, that reminds me, I need to make a plug. Uh, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing because I could really use your support, and it's free 99 to subscribe. I will also say that if you want to support what I do and the work that I do in the world, the best way to support me here on YouTube is by becoming a subscriber to my channel. Subscription fees start at $3.99 a month, and it is the most consistent and stable way to support me. Barring that, I always ask folks that have a little extra money to consider doing a tip via the thanks button or the super thanks button here. And if those financial ways of support are not within your capacity, I absolutely understand and would ask that you comment when you see one of my videos, like a video, share it to your people because that is support as well. But yeah, going back to the point about consistency, I think it's super important to be consistent. I have noticed that when I schedule videos, the algorithm seems to really value that level of consistency because it knows, okay, every Wednesday at 8 a.m., there will be content, you know? And remember, that's what keeps people on the app is knowing, oh, okay, it's Wednesday, my show is on, that kind of vibe. So the algorithm loves that. As an experiment, and also because I was overworked and tired, I took off for the month of March. It was my birthday earlier in the month. And so I don't know, my birthday became a lifestyle, if I'm honest. So I took off for the month of March. And here it is, May. And I feel like my views are still suffering for it. I used to, prior to March, I would get like 200 to 300 views on all of my videos. When I came back from my break from hiatus, I am now struggling to break like 50 views on my content. Nothing about the quality of my content has changed. If anything, it's actually gotten better because I bought myself a brand new mic. Woo, for my birthday. But yeah, if anything, the quality has gotten better, but still being it's still being penalized. Yeah. What does anybody know what song that comes from? Empress of Ease says, "My birthday became a lifestyle." I love that. Yes, it's a hip hop quote from a song. Is it a Drake song? If it's a Drake song, please don't tell me about it. I think it is. But yeah, so consistency, I feel like, is number one. I think that there are all kinds of ways to do content, but if you can show up consistently, that's the thing. The other thing that I will say about that is your capacity matters too. I do not think that it is reasonable for anyone to think, I'm going to make content every day. And I've seen many people fall into that trap and then fall off of their creation process because that's overwhelming. So I would hope that folks think about their capacity first and foremost, and then from that standpoint, think about what you can offer and create on a consistent basis. For me, that's once a week. That's what I got. And then sometimes I'll throw in a little short here or there because it's something that I made on TikTok and it did well on TikTok. So I'll transfer it over here. But yeah, don't overwhelm yourself trying to be consistent. It matters, but trying to do something every day, every other day, 5 times a week, that's exhausting. And that feels like, I don't know, damaging to the soul, you know? So yeah, that is my question. That is me answering the question, how important is consistency? Our next question is a video question. So let me share my screen with you. Hold on. Mm, 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 mm. Bam. All right. I think I'm sharing my screen. Yes. Well, EJ, Erica Full of Joy from Cosmic Healing Fam, it's complicated. I'm gonna answer the first part. Has it felt monetarily worth it? No, not at all. And what they are referencing is the fact that I've had a YouTube channel for quite some time, I think since 2008, but I didn't do anything about it, didn't take it seriously until June of 2023. Um, and I got into YouTube because they changed their monetization threshold. Oh no. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. But yeah, that was a video question from Erica Full of Joy from Cosmic Healing Fam. And I'm going to make sure to put their information in the caption of this when, this is all wrapped up. And they were asking, has YouTube monetization felt monetarily and or energetically worth it? And I gotta say, it has not felt monetarily worth it. But yeah, starting my channel for real in June of 2023 because they changed the monetization requirement. It used to be 1,000 subscribers and I think 5,000 hours of watch time. And then they changed it to 500 subscribers. And I was like, oh, I could do that. I could do that. Yeah, 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 yeah. And so pretty much like within this first maybe 6 months, I hit that 500 subscriber mark. And I thought monetization meant earning money from the ads that are playing on your channel. But when YouTube changed their monetization threshold, they changed the rules of what monetization could be. And so at 500 subscribers, you're able to offer a subscription to your YouTube channel and make money that way. You're also allowed to start taking tips via the super thanks button, that heart shaped button. And so I felt a little bit like that was a bait and switch, not gonna lie to you. But then, I changed my mind about it, which is a very Sagittarian journey. Just gotta change your mind all the time. And it occurred to me, okay, like this is actually is useful because people want to support me. So this is a good way that people can support me. Subscriptions, tips. Okay, fine. And I kept chugging along to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark where you actually can earn money from the ads that play on your videos. So I finally got to that marker in December of 2024. So it took like what, a year and a half to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark from nothing, by the way, or no subscribers. So when I finally got here, I was like, yeah, I'm earning money from my ads. Child, tell me why I earn like $50 a month, but I make 4 to 5 videos a month. And I'm talking about each video playing for like 20 minutes means that that is about 2 to 6 hours of work because it's like the 2 hours of recording plus like the 2 to 4 hours of editing, doing the what do they call them? The little images that go with the videos, all of the ancillary things that go into it. So yeah, spending like 6 hours a week on videos to get paid $50 a month feels not monetarily worth it. But I know that it won't always be this way. And I'm grateful for my subscribers because they make it monetarily worth it. So I thought the 500 subscriber mark where I got to monetize, I didn't think that was a big deal, and it turns out that that is the majority of my income from YouTube is literally people like you that subscribe to my channel. Which, by the way, $3.99 a month if that is something that you have capacity to share. And then in terms of energetically worth it, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I forgot about how much goals mean to me. I love waking up in the morning and having like a clear trajectory for what I'm trying to accomplish for the week, that one video. And every day I'm thinking about little pieces of work that I can do. Oh, okay, maybe today I'll spend an hour to get my notes and my script together. Oh, okay, the next day maybe I'll think about what I'm going to wear and how I'm going to record, how I'm going to switch up the camera angle, stuff like that. Oh, okay. Today I get to dress up and be filmed. Oh, that's fun. Oh, the editing process. I actually enjoy editing so much. I can't believe it. Because there was a time in my life where I could not stand editing. I edit through Premiere Pro, which is like one of the most complicated software platforms for film editing. Anyway, it's just all of these little tasks that end up like going into this goal. And then, like, when I release the video and it's actually received well, it's like I don't need to have like a million views or a million likes, but like the three people that comment on my video keep me going. And that feels having a goal, actually connecting on a quality level rather than a quantitative level, that feels energetically worth it. So, so yeah, half and half. I hope that answers your question, EJ, and thank you for asking. And we sip. Let me check on my electrical cords because there are a million five of them. Hold on. Also, can y'all hear that alarm that's been going off? Jesus, why? Lisa, hey, Lisa Afro Magic. I know them from TikTok. That's the new homie. Um, they said that's really beautiful, and it's also about community, which is super important. Hell yeah, hell yeah. And that reminds me so much about. Hey, boo. Thank you for stopping by too. Um, it it really does mean something. But yeah, for me, my community is primarily online. As a neurodivergent person, as a person who is still COVID aware, a lot of in real life opportunities for connection and community are not available and accessible to me. And so online community actually does feel accessible and really valuable and important to me. It's not my second choice, it's my primary choice of relationship. And so yeah, when I get those comments, it means a lot to me. It's like being complimented when you're out on the street, wearing a cute outfit. It feels like that. So yeah, thank you, EJ, for your question. Um, Patch, hey. um, would you say I'm so glad you said COVID aware because it's still here? Yes, along with measles, TB, etc. Yeah, there's apparently a whole, what is it? MMR. Oh, you just said that, measles, mumps, rubella outbreak in Texas and in some parts of Southern California right now. Also, bird flu. Oh, good lord. Here we go. Oh no, this is the fire truck. I hope everything's okay. Yes, I'm that nosy old person that be looking out the windows and I don't care. I want to know what's going on in my neighborhood. I hope it doesn't have anything to do with the alarm going across the house hallway. So anyway, welcome, Patch. Thanks for being here. I love you. I haven't gotten to your question yet, so I'll give you a heads up before I get to it so you can take care of yourself. Let's see. So that was the first video question. Um, what'd you say? I adore your pearl from 227 energy. Yes. You know what it is. You know what it is. I just need me some a wig with some of those bumper bangs. Yeah, she was the goat for real. So the second question that I have, or the next question that I have, is how much money do you make from YouTube and how to monetize other social media platforms? So I already told y'all I don't make shit from YouTube. No, that's not true. Everything matters. Um, I make about $50 a month from YouTube. Most of that is due to the subscriptions. Um, what else would I say about that? Oh, there is a measurement. I think it's called CPM, cost per mille. It's basically, the ads that run on the videos, the advertisers bid on, hey, I want to put my ad on that video, right? And YouTube pays you per 1,000 views, uh, which, by the way, a view is 30 seconds. It does not have to be, it can be muted. You don't have to have the sound on. Just letting you know, because I have a playlist called 100 plus hours of content. And I and some of my friends will put that playlist on when we go to bed, turn the volume off, go on to sleep, wake up in the morning, and that's however many views. So we love that for us. But yeah, in terms of that CPM figure, mine is sitting around $12, and it ranges from $8 to about $15, depending on what country you're in. The US is higher. What niche you do in terms of your content. So, like, finance, investment content has the highest CPM, gaming content has some of the lowest CPM. Just letting y'all know in case you were curious about how this works, or if you're thinking about doing your own channel. Yeah. So that goes into the money picture of YouTube. Like I said, I'm also on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. I make about $1,000 a month from my Patreon, and probably only, like, I think it was $60 a month from Buy Me a Coffee. That's what I call my blog income. And then there's YouTube, and then my biggest chunk of income. Also, I make money from art sales and astrology readings, but that's not social media. I mean, I guess it is, because I get those sales because of promoting myself on social media. But yeah, that's a chunk of income as well. And then the biggest part, or the second biggest part of income that I have, is my crowdsourced fundraising that I use primarily Instagram and Facebook for. So yeah, we've talked about strategies around how I monetize YouTube, but how I monetize my Instagram feeding into Patreon is to, how people will set up a Patreon account, or Buy Me a Coffee, or Ko-fi is another one, or Substack is another one. Yes, Lisa Afro Magic says, "Wow, can I ask what your pricing structure on Patreon looks like? If that's not something you want to answer." No, I am here to answer those questions. You can't be too nosy. Um, so yeah, how I do. Okay, let me start over. Sorry, I lost my thought. So I talk about on my Instagram and Facebook accounts. I let my Instagram content cross post automatically to Facebook and Threads. I don't have much traction on Threads at all. But when I'm talking about, hey, you should support my Patreon, I'm never talking about it in terms of, this is what you're going to get out of it. You're going to get these cool perks. You're going to get a painting or a astrology reading or anything like that. I talk about it through the lens of, you are helping us, Black, queer, autistic artists, survive capitalism. And I choose that lens to talk about my Patreon work from, because I want people who have privilege to understand that they have privilege, and to commit to the work of reparations. And so I would say that the majority of the folks that support me on Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, are white folks. I would say that the second group of people is probably like middle class. Uh-oh, hold on. I can't pause this, so I just got to go answer the door. Hold on. Dang, I'm sorry, y'all. Dang. Y'all. Wait, can somebody tell me if you can hear the fire alarm going off? I feel like it's kind of faint, but maybe it's not. Anyway, all that fire truck action that was happening earlier, it was for here. Um, Dang. So yeah, they were doing you can hear it? Oh, that's so embarrassed. I mean, not embarrassing, but it is what it is. Dang. Okay, so sorry. It was for here. The apartment across the hall is vacant. They were doing like some type of what do you call it? Like rehabbing, and they've got the fire. It's exciting. It is not exciting. It's annoying. And also, welcome to the hood, y'all. It be that way. So, where was I at? Patreon. Yes. So I'm trying to enlist the support of folks who are committed to doing reparations work. I am not trying to enlist the support of people who are transactional. I will only support you if I get my perk, you know? That is not something I'm interested in. And so my Patreon has no perks. Oh, actually, I do. At the 222 level, that patron, it's only one person, is entitled to one transit astrology reading a month, and I actually thoroughly enjoy it. So we sit down once a month and we talk about, okay, so this is what your natal chart looks like. This is what's happening in the sky. This is what you might want to strategize around. This is, some stuff that might come up this month, that kind of thing. But that is the only perk that I do, and that starts at the 222 level. I also do, free giveaways every once in a while. Yes. Yeah. Patch said, ditto RE Patreon model reparations now for real. Um, so yeah, that's the Patreon. Oh, and then you asked specifically about the tiers. So I believe it starts at $5 a month. Yes. But you know how you can choose a highlighted amount? My highlighted amount is 1111. I also have a 33, and maybe there's one at 77. I'm not sure about that. And then there's 111 and 222. I will tell you that I have 104 Patreon subscribers and only 39 of them are paid. And there are 60 people who watch me post every month about being broke and not making rent. And that, ooh, ooh, that bothers me. Anyway, so yeah, does that answer your question about the Patreon tiers? Yeah. And then I drive people to the Patreon by talking about my lived experience on Instagram, and then that auto populates to Facebook and Threads. The astrology reading client income is primarily funded through YouTube and TikTok. When I'm talking about like, oh, this is a little fun thing that's happening in the world right now on TikTok, that's very infrequently, but that will usually net me like an astrology reading client or two. A lot of folks don't understand exactly how to use astrology, and so a lot of times it's just the one reading per year kind of thing. And I'm trying to work on some content that explains more about how people can use astrology in their everyday life and make some smaller readings that are like 30 minutes long instead of hour-long consultations, but we'll see how that goes. And then, yeah, astrology clients from YouTube as well. And then art clients from YouTube as well. People really get excited about seeing the long form, sort of relaxing ASMR type of painting videos. So yeah. I think that explains all of let me look at the question again. Yeah. How much money do you make on those platforms? How do you monetize those other platforms? Yeah. And then Lisa says, yes, it does in terms of does this make sense? And I've always been fascinated about a reparations model. I love this. I haven't been using TikTok like I should. Should. Stop shooting on yourself. Um, this is super helpful. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I want to hear. This is what we want to hear. Okay. So yeah, that is that question. And now we go over to another video question. Well, I just mean at all. I hear you. I hear you. I mean, TikTok is pause. Can we talk about TikTok? Can we talk about TikTok and implicit bias? First of all, people's attention spans are cooked. And when you're on a platform that emphasizes short form content like that, I feel like Black folks, people with facial differences, um, fat folks, yeah, we're automatically at a disadvantage because the attention span is so short and implicit bias is so high that people will scroll within 2 seconds of seeing a black face, a fat face, a face with facial differences, and won't give it the content a chance. Um, and I feel like that's a lot that and the lack of transparency about how they pay people from the TikTok Creator Fund, that makes me not excited to monetize my TikTok at all. I had a couple of videos go viral early in my TikTok career, not career, you know what I'm trying to say, but early in the using of TikTok, maybe in 2021, 22. And I realized how I could use TikTok, but it just felt so gross and dirty. And I can't do it. It's not, let me just say it's not in alignment with me. And also I have beef with their lack of transparency. And I think that short form content and black faces do not go together. That's what I will say about that. Right. All right, so now I want to get to our next video question, which comes to us from Patch. I'm going to share screen again. Mhm. And I'm going to turn the volume up so maybe you can hear it this time. All right, what you got? You need to know how to edit to do YouTube. You have to have an established brand or shop or website to do YouTube. Thank you, Patch. That is my homie Patch, who is a textile artist in the wilds of Canada. And yes, do you have to know how to edit to do YouTube? No, not necessarily. Do you have to have a website and like a brand presence all set up to do YouTube? No, not at all. And here's why I say that. Um, let's go with the second part first. Having a website, brand presence, all that good stuff. I think a lot of people think that that's what they should do. Maybe because there are influencers that tell you that you have to have that. But a lot of people don't actually even need a website to conduct their business. A lot of people are able to connect to their client base just strictly off of social media or so many other ways. That reminds me, I have notes and I'm meant to be looking at them. But yeah, there's a homie that I have here on YouTube named at Turquoise Majesty, and they do tarot related content. And most of their success has been off of the apps and doing in person sorts of things. So they prioritize vending every weekend so that they can get clients that, support their like spiritual business. They sell like smoke and smudging wands and body oils and things like that, right? But they also get their tarot customers primarily from like their in-person thing. And so YouTube is not particularly useful for them. And or at least I think, I'm not sure. It doesn't seem that way. YouTube has not been something that they necessarily prioritize, is probably a better way to put that. And in terms of their website or web presence, they don't really have one because they have a real world presence. And so, yeah, I guess what I'm mainly saying is there are so many ways to approach your business. And so getting stuck in, oh, I should have this and I should do that, not particularly useful. Um, Finding your own way, more useful. And what if finding your own way didn't require a huge investment in capitalism? I think anytime you're thinking about spending hundreds of dollars on this class or hundreds of dollars on this particular software, I think it's worth asking how much of this is rooted in consuming and the ways that capitalism tells us that if we consume more, we will be better, do better, have more, that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, you don't have to have a website, you don't have to have a brand. I think that I had both when I did start my YouTube channel, and I've given up on my website because it was way too expensive, $400 a year. And I found a free way to approach my website. I host my website through a free website generator. I bought the domain name and I pointed at that free website. Um, and that's been working out really well for me. And then all of my shop is hosted on Buy Me a Coffee, which is also the place that I have my blog. And so, yeah, people go, they type in the URL, vaginajenkins.com, but secretly, when they are clicking on an item to purchase, it's sending them to my free Buy Me a Coffee page. And the integration is, it's a little clunky, but it beats $400 a year. I got to say that. So, yeah, you don't have to have those things necessarily. And then the other part of the question was, oh, do you need to know how to edit to do YouTube? Nope, not necessarily. And I want to tell you about some people that I've noticed on YouTube. Um, Again, Turquoise Majesty, because she deprioritizes the YouTube content in favor of in real life connection. She will do like a live stream video from her vending table and then publish it. That's it. And we talked once and I was like, oh, if you're trying to, get more YouTube subscribers, would you consider editing? Nope, that is not something that I find joy in. It is not within my capacity, and I'm not doing that. And I'm like, yes, yes, way to know your capacity. No way to know and honor yourself and your way of doing things. I will also tell you about another astrologer on here that's a white guy, so I'm not going to mention his name because we decenter men, we decenter whiteness. And so he's an astrologer, and he'll just get on here and talk for 8 minutes into his laptop camera. Video quality, shit. Sound quality, shit. Tell me why this fool got 20,000 subscribers, though. No, you do not have to know how to edit. Oh, and then the last person that I'll talk about, oh, I forgot his name. Is a black male astrologer, and he doesn't do any pre-recorded content. He just goes on live regularly. I think he schedules it once a week too. And he'll be on live for like 3 hours at a time, not even talking about nothing, not even talking about nothing, just smoking, lighting incense, listening to his little beats that he's made. It's an astrology page, but I've never seen him talk about astrology. Again, tell me why this fool got 50,000 subscribers, right? So I'm just saying, I'm sharing all of those examples because I think it takes all kinds of ways. And what it ultimately is about is being your authentic self and then connecting with the people that value that. So, yeah, you don't have to know how to edit because there are so many different ways to approach this. You don't have to have a website, you don't have to have a brand. Just get out there, make some mistakes, put yourself out there according to your capacity, of course. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question, Patch. Thank you for submitting it. Let me check the chat, see if there's any other questions. Okay, yeah. Let me see. The next question that we have is, oh, I don't want to make social media my career. Absolutely. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you. This person said, I don't want to make social media my career, but how do I support my content creator friends? We love to see it. We love to see it. Well, one, thing is some of the stuff that I talked about earlier. You can view or engage with their content because, once again, the job of a content creator is to keep folks on the app for longer periods of time so that the apps can serve them advertisement, right? So if you can be on the app in the name of your friend and in engaging with your friend, that actually goes a long way. So the most powerful way to support your friends for free, by the way, and these are all the free ways. You can, of course, like subscribe to their content uh, depending on the platform. Oh, there was no space to mention this, but I also wanted to mention that Instagram has a subscription feature for professional accounts, is what it's called. Business accounts, professional accounts. I can't remember. It's something like that. And you can do subscriptions on Instagram as well. And I think that that's such a neat idea. If I were to take advantage of that, I feel like I would be able to make quite a bit of money because my stories are super lit. My stories never, I mean, it's not that they never expire, but I never have them empty. So there's always at least like 3 slides in my stories at any given time. Political content, humorous content, slice of life type content. It's really dope. But I refuse to be a professional account on Instagram because I tried that for a year in like 2020 and it kills your views. People will never see your content. So I don't know how you're going to be able to get subscribers if no one knows you exist, but that is an option. I meant to mention that earlier. All right, back to back to this question. Not wanting to be a content creator, but how do you support your content creator friends? On most platforms, the save is vitally important. It says, oh, wow, this is really exciting. And I want to come back to this ad infinitum, like forever. That's what a save does. Um, so, yes, to saving content. I know this is particularly important on Instagram. The second most important is the share. When you click a share button or copy link button, even if you don't like actually end up sharing to another platform or DMing a person, if you hit the copy link option in the share, that counts a lot in terms of boosting a person in the algorithm. Um, Comments and likes are important as well. Likes being the least important in the algorithm because it takes like half a second to be like click like and then continue scrolling, right? Or get off the app entirely. So the algorithm doesn't value likes as much as it does comments. Comments say, "Oh, I really resonated with this and I want to talk to you and I want to be in conversation with you." And that's the kind of thing that would keep a person on the app a little bit longer being in conversation. So that is definitely a boost in the algorithm. Now, comments though, comments are not emojis. Comments are actual words. Each platform has a certain amount of words. On Instagram, it's 5 words or more that constitute a comment. On YouTube, it's 9 words or more that constitute a comment. But either way, if you just, it doesn't, you don't have to watch a video in order to make a comment. You literally could just say something like, wow, this is really valuable information that you're sharing. Wow, this is very valuable information that you're sharing. Friend, there we go. Perfect, right? So yeah, the comment is also important, but a comment that is exclusive of emojis and actually has words, very useful. Using words like boost is probably one of the worst comments that you could leave. It's pretty much an automatic flag to any algorithm, and I've noticed this across Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, that boost is an automatic downgrade in the algorithm because the algorithm has gotten the hang of the fact that people are commenting just for the algorithm's sake and it's not actual genuine engagement. And it has now become a red flag. There are also other words like astrology, which I freaking hate. Hey, Biblio Butch. Hello, friend. Thanks for dropping by. They say, "This is really helpful information that you're sharing. Seriously, thank you." It's also a perfect example of a comment, by the way. Don't even have to have known what the content was about, but it sounds genuine. It doesn't contain any weird flaggy words like boost, commenting for the algorithm, like any mention of the algorithm. That's also a red flag. We're supposed to pretend that it doesn't exist. It's the strangest thing. Yeah. So those are ways that you can support by prioritizing. On TikTok, they say from the bottom up. So the save, the share, the comment, the like. Astrology is a red flag word on Instagram, but not on YouTube. Tarot, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's a red flag word on Instagram, but not on YouTube because, well, I don't know why, but I will tell you that tarot content is very uh, important to the algorithm, particularly those pick a card readings. They tend to be like at least 30 minutes long, but I've seen them be like an hour long, and those are really popular on the YouTube algorithm. Um, but yeah, so all of those forms of engagement. What are some other ways to support? Let me check my notes for once. Mm, 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 mm. Nah, I don't know. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. I feel like there was more that I wanted to say, but yeah, those are the main ways to support your content creator friends, engaging with their content from the bottom to the top or on other platforms from the right to the left. Yeah. Our next question is the last question, unless y'all have anything in the chat, by the way. It is another video question. Oh, let me know if you can't hear it. This one's a really, really good question. So I want y'all to be able to hear it. Oh, I'm going to share my screen. Those fire people were weird. I didn't like their eyes. I don't know how to describe that. Oh, hey, hey, Janelle. Janelle says, I've considered doing card reading stuff for content just because I've always enjoyed doing the cards myself. So much useful info. Thanks. Hell yeah. I mean, if you've been considering it and you got time, why not do it? See what happens. It's really popular content. I feel like the most popular stuff on YouTube is probably like celebrity related, just random yapping about celebrities. But second, I feel like is the tarot stuff. Astrology is kind of way down on the list. Um, Let me share the screen. Hold on. Here and here. Okay. So this is the last video question.
Hi, Ms. Lady Vagina Jenkins. It's Karen. First off, I wanted to say thank you so much for doing this series.
Can y'all hear before I go any further? I just wanted to make sure that the sound on the video question is coming through. Mm, okay. Hmm. I wonder if there's anything that I can do about that. Oh, but there is the captions. Okay. Hmm. I'm gonna play it just for the replay, but I'm gonna repeat the question. So give me just a sec.
Thank you so much for your transparency in the second part that you did. I have a question. Actually, it's a multi-part question. How do you not get stuck in scarcity mindset? What are some things that you do to help ensure that you don't lower your vibration, that you work on being able to trust that every month your bills are going to be able to get covered? And how do you make space for joy, especially knowing that oftentimes, because of the white supremacist capitalistic system in which we live, participating in joy costs? So, what are some strategies that you have? What are some things that you do for your own mental health? What are some things that you do to create joy? Knowing that sometimes it's gonna cost money and that spending that money might cut into other things. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's yeah. Okay, so that was Caren Calamita, who is, by the way, a tarot creator here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. They are crows, cats, and tarot. If you want to find their account. And they were asking, it was like a triple part question, but basically, how do you not give in to scarcity mindset and trust that your bills are going to be taken care of every month doing this content creation stuff, which is very mm, inconsistent, unstable, whatever the words are. So that was one part of it. And then they asked another part, how do you keep your vibe high? Which is, I think, part of it too. Um, and then how do you make room for joy, knowing that so many experiences of joy cost money? How do you prioritize that without like feeling guilty? And then Lisa Afro Magic is like co-signing it. And they said, yes, that's a question I have as well. It's so hard to not get dragged into that space of lack without feeling delusional. Yeah, I feel it. Okay, so I'm literally feeling it. Like my heart feels bruised thinking about it because this has been such a journey for me. And I'm so grateful that Karen asked that question because it's part of what I wanted to touch on in the first video that I made, which hopefully I remember to link up here somewhere and also at the end in an iCard. But yeah, my background as a person who grew up poverty class, Black, and in the South, I feel like helps me in this endeavor. In that there's a new phrase going on right now where we're in this recession and people are like, oh, the new poors are freaking out. And it's a funny joke, but I think it speaks to the fact that folks who have dealt with being poor, not having experiences of poverty, scarcity, lack, whatever, are uniquely gifted to be able to survive subsequent experiences of lack and scarcity. And I feel like that is definitely part of how I'm able to survive this. I already have a lot of skills about how to keep the budget low to sort of navigate capitalism in that way. And at the same time, Lisa Afro Magic, I am delusional. I'm a Sagittarius rising. That means my chart ruler is Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion and being delusional, or one of the planets devoted to that thing. I'm also a Pisces sun, which is ruled by both Jupiter and Neptune. And Neptune is definitely the planet of delusion. And what I mean in that context, I think Neptune is such an important planet because it talks about the ways in which being delusional, being hopeful, against all odds and all realities actually helps keep us on track and keeps us motivated towards fulfilling our goals. And I think that there are some people that are able to fulfill their goals just by sheer determination and hard work. And that is Capricorn energy, that is Aquarius energy, Saturnian energy. But I am able to keep myself going through pure delusion. I think that it's going to work out. And I swear to you, I hate that this quote is true, but it has been true in my experience. And y'all holler if you feel me in the comments. But whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're absolutely right. And that has gotten me through so much. It really has. And it's funny because I used to be in a I've seen the opposite play out as well. I used to be in a group of YouTube creators that like supported each other, completely different content, but we were just supporting each other through the journey of trying to get YouTube monetization. And a lot of times we would have these meetings and it'd be like, oh, I want to improve my YouTube, but I don't know how. And people would throw out suggestions. And I saw the average person being like, nah, that'll never work. Nah, I couldn't do that. Nah, I'll never get more than 5 Patreon subscribers. Nah, I'll never do this. And I just would always be like, okay, I understand because that's your reality. And if that's your reality and the reality that you want to speak into existence, then, real talk. I can't want more for you than you want for yourself. Um, the other thing that I'll say is even as I am delusional, I am also grounded in the reality. I am grounded in the reality that like Black folks on average, no matter what industry, will make less money. I'm grounded in the reality that scarcity is real. Um, and by real, what I mean is we have enough on this planet. But because systems of power are rooted in capitalism, artificial scarcity has been created. Um, and yeah, it's both artificial and also incredibly real. Um, like we have enough houses, but I literally can see homeless people sitting outside on the street right now. Like I'm looking at a man panhandling right now. That's the neighborhood that I live in, by the way. And how do you acknowledge the reality and also not let yourself succumb to it? That's the part where I feel like delusion comes into play. Um, Let me look at this comment. Lisa Avra Magic says, right, I do know what you mean. I'm an Aries rising and Aquarius sun. You'd think I was okay with sheer Delulu, but the way my Saturn and Taurus in the second, woo! Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. The way my Saturn in Taurus in the second house is set up, child. Yeah, that is a very hardworking placement. That is very much the belief, the value of the belief that anything is attained by hard work and the valuation of hard work. And my challenge to you, that I'm sure you've already thought of, which also, uh, are you still waiting on your Saturn return? Sound off in the comments. Either you're very young or you're anyway. Um, but yeah, my challenge to you would be if you're going to do hard work, redefining what work means. What is work and responsibility in a more expansive sense? Because what if hard work wasn't, I go to a place for 12 hours a day and I have to do all of the things? What if it was a responsibility to self care and taking care of yourself, or other definitions of work and responsibility? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel it. Yeah. And then that reminds me about like the part where Karen asked about how to keep up the high vibes. Uh, Part of my second house Capricorn has been to redefine what work and responsibility looks like for myself. And my first responsibility is to myself. And can I underline that for all of the people socialized femme in the comments? My first responsibility is to myself. Um, I've shaped my life in that particular way. Um, and I'm not saying that people should do like life like I do it, but no matter your circumstance, I would hope that people find ways to prioritize themselves in their lives, not your work, not your kids, not your plants, not your pets, not the cleaning of the apartment that needs to be done, not a coworker, not a spouse, partner, whatever. Who is number one in your life? And when that cup is full, what are you able to give in excess? of your full cup. If you ain't got a full cup, I don't know that you can pour into another. Though I see people saying that all the time, that like in non-colonizer cultures that is the case. And I'm theoretically open to it, but that is not how it is worked out in this culture that I live in. So being ferocious about prioritizing yourself in your life. And so, yeah, I am more able to deal with the reality of this artificial scarcity that capitalism has created. I am more able to deal with the reality of anti Blackness. I am more able to deal with the reality of surviving homophobia and ableism when I am well resourced and taken care of. And so my first responsibility is to myself. My job primarily is to take care of myself. And child, I'd be overwhelmed. When you think about like what a job it is to take care of yourself, my God, you're supposed to bathe it, feed it 3 times a day. You're supposed to walk it. You're supposed to stretch it. Oh my God. It is the most. Yes, be ferocious about prioritizing yourself. Yeah. So I feel like that helps me to survive the reality of the artificial scarcity that has been created when I feel more well resourced. Um, yeah. So that answers the parts of the question about how to keep the high vibe going, taking care of yourself so that you can survive the psychological torment of capitalism and patriarchy. Yes. And white supremacy. It's bestie. Yes. And then how do you continue to trust that you are taken care of? I feel like that is the work of my spiritual practice, which is threaded into my everyday self care. And I was talking to a Facebook homie about this earlier today, but like before I start my day, before I grab my phone, I'm laying in bed and I do like some little affirmations. Um, I used to feel them a lot more intensely, but now they're sort of like by habit, if that makes any sense. Um, but yeah, it's like threaded into my self care. So before I pick up my phone, I'm doing affirmations. When I'm doing making my coffee, I'm speaking life into my coffee water that I'm going to drink. I like to take a really slow morning and do like coffee in the sun because I'm a Leo moon. I have to feed my moon by being in the sun. I do my stretches. I feed myself first before I feed my pets, take care of my plants, take care of the apartment. And like those little things, I feel like my spirituality is just woven into my day. Um, and that is this kind of stuff that helps me know that I'm going to be all right. And actual concrete evidence. I have been unemployed and relying on income from social media since May of 2020. So, what is that, 6 years now? I've always been able to make rent. Now, it is by the skin of my teeth. I'm not going to lie to you. It is this month. I paid my rent with $8.15 to spare. And I still went and bought some tacos as soon as I paid my rent. You know why? Because we need experiences of joy too. And then, yeah, that brings me to the last part of Karen's question. But before I get to that, let me check these comments. Janelle says, "But how can I dissociate myself into a position of broken servant if I'm taking care of myself?" Dang, V, you asked for a lot. Stop. Oh my God! Wait, I want to read it again because I want to. But how can I dissociate myself into a position of broken servant if I'm taking care of myself? Yeah, it's going to be hard to do that. What's that? They used to say, my mom used to always say, oh, oh, I can't, it's on the tip of my tongue. But if basically, if you want something different, you got to do something different. Um, that part, that part. But yeah, the last part of her question was, oh, how do you prioritize joy when so much of joy costs money under capitalism? Uh, Pause, gentle pushback. Who says that? Who says joy costs money? And I say that because I think a lot of capitalism tells us that joy costs money. I think that that is a prevailing belief. And I would gently push back and say, what if that is a lie that capitalism tells us? And what if there are experiences of joy that we can have at our disposal every day that are free, but we refuse to value them because they don't cost money? As an aside, I've tried a couple of different times to give out free astrology readings, and every time it blows up in my face. People do not value that which comes to them for free, and I will never understand it. I'll never understand it. And so I wanted to give really specific examples. I've been thinking about it ever since I got this question from Karen. So free examples of joy that probably fly under the radar to the average person, but because I am prone to depression, and prone to succumbing to capitalism, white supremacy, ableism, I have to curate joy. So, one thing, I've curated all of my social media feeds to be more joyful, more affirming to me. On Instagram, I do not follow white content creators because I'm not trying to see white people smiling in my face while white supremacy is going on. I just refuse to allow it. Um, Same with COVID uh, aware people. I'm not trying to see pictures of y'all in the group shot and ain't nobody wearing a mask. Like, you don't give a damn about disabled people. I refuse to see that. So yeah, that's an aside, but that is part of my joy practice. Another part of my joy practice is very much like romanticizing my life, is I think a phrase that people use to describe it. Um, and an example that I thought about earlier this week is on my way to the thrift store. I have to walk through Chinatown, and there's this really cool crosswalk where instead of making right angles on a four-way street, it goes directly diagonally across. So because it's a diagonal to the square, it's a longer distance. It has this cool, like, Chinese inspired pattern on it. You know how, like, they do in the neighborhoods, they'll do the rainbow, but this one is like red and gold with like a Chinese motif, and it's a longer distance. And every time I walk on that crosswalk, and I often do because it's part of my daily walking routine, or I try to walk as often as possible. For just the 30 seconds that it takes me to go across that crosswalk, I let my shoulders relax and I pretend to be a model and I let myself get big. I am 5'10", about 250, 275 pounds. I'm a big person. And I often feel the weight of that and find myself hunching and being small, trying to be invisible because the white folks is out here and they are violent. But when I hit that crosswalk, I let myself be big and I let myself be visible. And it is one of the most joyous experiences that I have in my daily life. And I savor that. And so I wanted to share that particular example because I think that there are so many ways that we get joy and joyous experiences in our life that are completely free. And we just don't notice them because it didn't cost us money. And what if connecting to that joy and connecting to community that would bring you joy is the work of divesting from and disrupting internalized experiences of capitalism. Um, yeah. What if it doesn't have to be a $500 ticket to Beyonce show, but instead, and you're a Beyonce super fan, but instead it's a listening party out at the park with your best homies? Like, wouldn't that be a valuable experience? What if instead of going to the AMC and spending $40 on a movie date, it was a movie night in the backyard and borrowing somebody's projector and getting to have that communal experience or even solo experience, just you and your dogs out in the backyard watching your favorite movie, which, by the way, mine is The Princess Bride. And if you judge me, you're a hater. Sorry. um, so, yeah. I just wonder if there were more experiences like that that we could recognize as experiences of joy, would we feel that joy costs money? So yeah, I've soapboxed enough. Um, Also, listening to Black folks, listening to poor folks. And I say that because if folks were really doing that, you might have the tools. They might have the tools. This is not a personal indictment against you, but listening to people who have had experiences and continue to have experiences of scarcity, of lack, of being, at the bottom of the social ladder and surviving and thriving and finding joy. What if that could be part of the work that you do to actually take care of yourself too? Listening to people that are already experiencing the worst of it and surviving and finding joy and kikiing with each other and loving one another. Anyway, all right. I saw soapbox enough. What do y'all have? What do y'all have? Somebody's share some wisdom with me in the comments. Tell me about survival, thriving, joy outside of capitalism. Quickly. No, sorry. I'm doing too much. That is all of the questions that I have. Um, yeah, I didn't want to talk too much over an hour. What'd you say? Oh, okay. Lampress of Ease says, my birthday is tomorrow and I'm going to an art opening. Yes, art opening. First of all, happy birthday. Happy solar return. Happy new you year. And I hope that your new you year is like just everything that you intend it to be. Oh, and I hope that you take some of this conversation into your new you year too. Um, you said you're a Taurus sun, Libra moon, Leo rising. Oh, there's another Patch is also a Leo rising. Leo rising gang. Um, yeah. Joy is particularly important for Leo risings to uh, cultivate in terms of being ruled by the sun and the sun being such a joyous planet, but also in terms of having Scorpio on your fourth house. And the fourth house being about our emotional foundations. Scorpio as an emotional foundation can be an intense experience. And so, yeah, the work of prioritizing joy, particularly important. Um, and yeah, the ease in which I'll bet you are able to find that transformation. But yeah, other experiences of joy. Somebody, Pat said find joy in quilting. Yes, yes, quilting. Yes, piecing together scraps of things to create a whole new piece of art. That is a very fighting scarcity kind of joyous experience. Yes. Um, what else? Janelle says, for actually real, sometimes I worry that maybe the reason I've always survived is because I have positioned myself to service others and that taking care of me will steal that from me. Mm, mm. I hear that. I hear that as a reality. But reminder too about doing something different to get something different. Maybe. What is a small experiment that you could conduct? I like a small experiment, It doesn't have to be dramatic life change and I'm going to move to the woods and I'm only going to bake bread and not buy it from the store. But what is a small miniature version of prioritizing oneself just to see what kind of joy it might bring? I don't know. For some reason, come and go into the pool comes to mind. I don't know what that means, but yeah. Yes, yes, yes to all of those things. Yes to quilting. Yes to birthdays and celebrating oneself. Oh, because who else gonna do it? I hope you get tacos, because tacos are my favorite food. So maybe you don't like tacos. I hope you get your version of tacos. Yes. Yeah. Go to the pool. Get in the water. Get in the water. Okay, sorry. Anyway, y'all, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone that stopped by. Thank you for all the comments and sharing like your voice with me because I'm not in this to hear myself talk, though I do love to like pontificate, which is a Sagittarius issue. Sorry, not sorry. Um, like I said, I publish new videos every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, so keep your eyes peeled. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, share, comment, like, tell your friends. And if you have the capacity to support this work by becoming a member of this channel, reminder that membership in this channel starts at $3.99 a month. If you don't like YouTube as a platform for membership, feel free to drop by my Patreon, patreon.com, Vagina Jenkins. Everything for me is under Vagina Jenkins. So if you're on a platform and you want to know I'm there, just search my name. But yeah, and if financial support does not feel like something that you can do, just be in community with me. That's support too. Again, we are not prioritizing all of the experiences of capitalism. We are prioritizing the experiences of centering oneself in community. That's supposed to be the sign for community, but then I realized it looked like something else, so I'm going to stop. All right. Okay. I love you. Thanks for being here, y'all. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Sending you so much love. Bye.